Well, hello everyone, and welcome back from our holiday break. I missed everybody. I'm looking forward to diving into this chapter. So here we go. Barry Andrews and Emerson are getting really serious about this spiritual method, spirituality, spiritual laws, and it's time for us to start thinking about these things and diving deeper into some of Emerson's texts. In Self-Reliance, in the Self-Reliance section on page 81 of this chapter, Emerson redefines individuality, reminding us that self-reliance does not mean isolating ourselves. Very important. Instead, he sees the self as a manifestation of the oversoul, connecting all beings. We are infinitely related to one another, despite our individuality. So, let's go to the text. Here we go. For the sense of being in which calm hours rises, we know not how, in the soul, is not diverse from things, but one with them, and proceeds obviously from the same source from whence their life and being also proceed. We first share the life by which things exist, and afterwards see them as appearances in nature, and forget that we have shared their cause. Questions to consider. How does the idea that our soul is one with all things challenge the way we typically view ourselves as separate from the world around us? Second question, how might embracing this unity change the way we live, act, and perceive nature? So in the section on Emerson's essay Compensation, Emerson introduces the law of compensation, which is a moral balancing act that governs life. He explains that for every excess, there is a defect, and for every defect, there is an excess, and Emerson really believed this. He believed that this was part of the structure of reality. This law reflects the moral structure of the universe, ensuring justice and accountability. So let's check out a text. From the essay Compensation, all infractions of love and equity in our social relations are speedily punished. They are punished by fear. Questions. How might the idea that violations of love and equity are punished by fear suggest an inherent moral law within us? In what ways does fear act as both a consequence and a guide for our actions in relation to others? Now to Emerson's essay, The Spiritual Laws, which can be found around page 86 of our text. Emerson reminds us that spiritual growth is often hindered by our willful struggles. He suggests that life can be simpler and more harmonious if we align ourselves with nature's effortless processes. Lots of Taoism in this, lots of Buddhism as well. Using the imagery of falling fruit and the natural cycle of water, again, lots of Taoism there, Emerson encourages us to embrace life's flow rather than resisting it. The ideas in the spiritual laws are some of my favorite ideas of Emerson's, so let's check out a text. From Spiritual Laws, the whole course of things goes to teach us faith. We need only obey. There is guidance for each of us, and by lowly listening we shall hear the right word. For you, there is a reality, a fit place, and congenial duties. Place yourself in the middle of the stream of power and wisdom which animates all whom it floats, and you are without effort impelled to truth, to right, and to perfect contentment. This passage makes me think of the word surrender. Do you think surrender is an accurate way to describe what Emerson is trying to communicate in this passage? Now to the essay Circles, found around page 86 as well in our text. In Circles, Emerson highlights the impermanence of life and the need to let go of the past. So again, lots of Buddhism here, lots of Eastern philosophy, very prevalent in Emerson's thinking and writing. He argues that life is a series of surprises, that growth requires embracing uncertainty and creating new circles, circles upon circles, circles outside of the old circles. So growth requires embracing uncertainty and creating new circles. From Circles, in nature every moment is new. The past is always swallowed up and forgotten. The coming only is sacred. Nothing is secure but life, transition, the energizing spirit. Second quote, nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm. The way of life is wonderful. It is by abandonment. Questions. How might viewing life as an ongoing transition reshape the way we approach both our struggles and our joys? Second question, where could Unitarian Universalism use a little more enthusiasm? I have some thoughts. I'm curious what your thoughts will be. The essay, Emerson's essay, The Oversoul is the causal mystery. So that is Emerson's way of talking about the causal mystery and naming it. Again, I don't think the Oversoul was a great choice of name for the causal mystery. But I don't think the causal mystery is a great name for it either. So very difficult to name these things, as it should be. So in Emerson's essay, The Oversoul, he explores the connection between the individual and the universal soul. So the individual soul and the universal soul. He described moments of mystical insight where we transcend the ego and glimpse the eternal unity of existence. How can we open ourselves to these moments of transcendence in our daily lives? That's why we're talking so much about transcendentalism, reading Emerson, and hoping that what we take from this class will be tools that we can use in our everyday life as we explore the spiritual side of ourselves, the spiritual side of existence. That's the goal of all these conversations. So we've already talked about this text, but let's look at it one more time. From the Oversoul. The heart in thee is the heart of all. Not a valve, not a wall, not an intersection is there anywhere in nature, but one blood rolls uninterruptedly, an endless circulation through men. As the water of the globe is all one sea, and truly seen, its tide is one. Let man then learn the revelation of all nature, and all thought to his heart. This namely, that the highest dwells with him, that the sources of nature are in his own mind. No questions for this passage. I want you to copy this passage down in your journal and read it over and over again until it becomes part of your intellectual DNA. Okay? Good work, everybody. All right, folks, I'm looking forward to the discussion we're about to have. I'll see you in 1 second.